records were set this weekend, and I guess a play that we'll never forget was also set this weekend in a primetime showdown to figure out who's going to be in the playoffs. It happens that if the season were to end today, both the Commanders and Giants would be in the playoffs, but we'll take a look at their future schedules to see who's going to hang on in that crucial matchup, all coming up after the break. Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson, and well, if you're a Colts fan, your day's probably been just shaking your head still. If you're a Patriots fan, like me, you probably just don't want to talk about it. And if you are a Commanders fan, you're upset that you just couldn't pull it off. That is the storylines for today's game. Our top 3 points of the day. We start in the Colts. They set a record, but not a record that you want to set. We'll get to that to start off the show. Then we'll talk about the Patriots, just what were they thinking moment, as I think people are needing to get fired in Foxborough. We'll talk about all that, the controversy, what people here locally are saying about everything in Foxborough, the explosion, the terribleness that's happening in New England. We'll get to all that, and then we'll talk about the Giants' big pivotal win last night. First off and foremost, let's talk about the biggest comeback in NFL history. Yes, we're talking about the Vikings win in overtime, 39-36 over the 4-9 Colts. The Vikings improved to 11-3 after absolutely dogging it in the first half of this game. Let's take a look a little bit more in depth to how this game went. All in all, the first downs. Oh, hold on. That's not what I want to see. That's not what I want to see. Here it is. In the first quarter, the Colts put up 17 points. In the second quarter, the Colts put up 16 points. In the third quarter, the Colts put up 3 points. The Vikings put up their first 2 touchdowns of the game, 14 points. The fourth, they put up 22 points. The Vikings put up 22 points, and they are unmatched in that category that enforces overtime, where they win 39-36. They needed 518 yards to do that. Total, 426 of those came in passing, 92 came in rushing. They had 32 first downs. I think only 6 first downs for the Colts in the second half of that game. Brutal. Brutal. And they had to punt the ball 6 times, the Vikings. They had 74 yards of penalties to 103 yards of penalties by the Colts. Really, really bad. Cousins threw 2 interceptions as well, and they were also matched time possession way favored the Colts. 36 minutes of time in possession for the Colts to the 33 of the Vikings. I mean, there was 3 interceptions in this game because the fumble loss happened as well. They were 0 for 3 on 4th downs. They had a tough game, but that doesn't underestimate the fact that they continued to work through that, and they were able to get into one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history. Obviously, we talk about Kirk Cousins a lot. Is he the real deal? Is he really a player? Is he really a considerable match in the NFL? Does he deserve to be at that high rank class that he is put in? I lean more towards Kirk Cousins, your average Joe quarterback. He's just an average guy. He's average this, average that, and he has choke in him. He has not as much as Matt Ryan does, but he has choke in him, and he's proven that. But 11-3 is a very good record. The Vikings are in the playoffs with that win. They locked themselves into the playoffs. It's a great win. The team improves their record and will be a favorite in the playoffs. No, not in my book, but in the media's book, in the NFL's book, the Vikings are a favorite in the NFL playoffs. For me, this team is just not there yet. I don't know what it is. Like, on paper, this team should go to the NFC Conference Finals. They're one of the best. They will put up great fights. On paper, they should beat almost all these teams. But in reality, the Vikings, their games are all very, very close. They're not blowing teams out. They lost to Cowboys 40-3. Let's not forget that. But every other game here, and we'll go as far back to October 30th, per se. That was one of their... Let's go back to November 6th. They played the Commanders. They won by 3. They play the Bills on November 13th. They go to overtime, and they win by 3. Then they get destroyed by the Cowboys on the 20th. Then they go play the Patriots. They win by a little more than that. They won 33-26. Big win. That's a 6-point win. Then they go play the Jets. They have a 5-point win, 27-22 on December the 4th. Then they lose to the Lions. They go and play the Colts this week. They win by 3. All very close games. You can go as far back to when they played the Bears. 7 points separated that. 1 touchdown. 3 points on October the 2nd separated them against the Saints. You know, I hate to go so far up. 4 points separated them on the 25th against the Lions. But the further up you go, the more less of meaning it has. So I'm just looking as of late. All these games, win or losses, have been close. In a playoff match, when you're playing a team like, I don't know, the Cowboys, which you probably won't see, but when you're playing a team like that and you might not be able to pull off a win, that's huge. That's huge. I don't know. I always watch this team for that. I don't feel like they're legitimate because of that. Not just because of that. That's just a little point in the making. That they lose, but when they lose very close. It's very tough. But it is what it is at this point in time. There's really nothing you can do about this. Watch and let's see what happens. But for now, biggest comeback in NFL history. It's a big moment. You will remember that for a long time to come. We'll also remember this next thing we're going to talk about for a long time to come. The Raiders improved to 6-8. The Patriots fall to 500 in a 30-24 win. And wow, New England's terrible. And what horrible football that we watched. And you're talking to a New England fan. There's so much things wrong with the New England Patriot offense. This team is horrendous. They are just so hard to watch. It is so hard to watch this football team. You have not even an offensive coordinator. You have Matt Patricia running the offense in New England. It is horrendous. I don't even think he knows what he's doing. I think it's so bad. You have Joe Judge, who I don't really know where he falls into this. Offense, isn't he like the quarterback's coach or the something like that? It's terrible. It's really, really bad. And it also falls on Bill Belichick. You know, the 70-year-old, he's old, he's up there, but look, we all think he can do it, but the real question lies, can he do it? He continues to prove to us that, yes, post-Brady era, if you haven't noticed, the Patriots don't get talked very much unless it's negative. This is negative. This is so bad that we are talking about this. And it doesn't just fall, this is just talking about it because we're talking about it. This has been weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks. If we take a look at the Patriots since way back when, the first game of the season, remember, they lost to the Raiders in the preseason, too. 27 loss to the Dolphins, first game of the season. 17-14 win against the Steelers. 37-26 loss to the Ravens. 27-24 loss to the Packers. They shut out the Lions. That was lucky for them. 38-15 win over the Browns. Again, listen to the teams they're playing under circumstances. They're playing not the best quarterbacks. Every time the Patriots have won a game this season, there's been something that has happened. Then they go to play the Bears, and they lose to the Bears 33-14 in embarrassment. They beat Zach Wilson. Well, whoop-de-doo. Then they go and play the Colts. They win 26-3. That's great. I think Matt Ryan was out for that game. Let me take a look. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I don't think Matt Ryan played in that game. He did not. So, backup quarterback. It probably wouldn't have won if Matt Ryan was playing. Yeah, you win against Zach Wilson again, 10-3. What a horrible game. I forgot about that one. You lose on Thanksgiving. You lose to the Bills. You beat the Cardinals, who, again, backup quarterback. And you lose on an idiot play that I don't even know why it's called. Stevenson throws the ball back on a lateral, and then Myers throws the ball to Mac Jones. It might have been the best pass of the day. Throws it to Mac Jones. I think it was Jones, the other Jones, not Mac Jones, Marcus Jones, catches the ball and runs it to the end zone. Touchdown. Game over. Pack your bags. A game that should have went to overtime. Nevertheless, it should have been over. The referees did steal that game. I know I'm digressing here. But there was a play, a very controversial touchdown, that the NFL called back. And I'm going to say it now, and you can call me out in the comments. The part of me believes that this might have been a NFL upstairs in New York going, do we want this game to go to overtime? Do we want this one to go to overtime? I mean, if we look at the way the standings are, we like this. We love overtime games. People get excited about this. Let's call this a touchdown. I get it. It was really close. But there was some images here of this play. And I'm going to try to pull it up right now for you guys on the screen if I can find one of his foot just clearly out of bounds. And we can see, you guys can be the judge of it, I guess. I mean, look, this to me shows the foot out of bounds. I don't know about this. This shows the foot out of bounds to me. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like he was out of bounds. And it shouldn't have been called a touchdown. I thought the foot was out of bounds, but I also think it's a case of, the NFL saying, I really want an overtime game. An overtime game benefits us in multiple ways. Whatever. Nevertheless, the play that happened at the end of the game shouldn't have happened. I don't know if the Patriots are going to sit Myers. I don't know what's going to happen, but an explosion in New England, stuff has got to change, and I think it will over this. I mean, the Patriots are playing on Christmas. Who are they playing next? They are playing the Bengals on the Christmas Eve. Loss. Then they play the Dolphins and the Bills. Loss. I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think we see the Patriots win another game this season. I think it's it. Something needs to change this offseason. I'll follow it closely. I know we've been going pretty late for an episode, but let's talk quickly about the Sunday Night Football game. A big game in, where did they play in New York? No, they played in Washington, D.C. It was a 20-12 win that the Giants took over the Commanders. The Commanders 7-6, the Giants 8-5. Both teams battling for a playoff spot. Both teams in the NFC sit at the 6th and 7th playoff spot. They both are in the playoffs. The Giants raise a spot. The Commanders fall a spot. They're battling each other for those final positions. And again, I will take a look here at each of their situations. The Giants play a tough game against the Vikings. I wouldn't call it a guarantee, but a good chance to win against the Colts, and in a tough game against the Eagles. They have to win 2 of those 3. I would decide to cut out. So basically what I'm saying is the Giants have to win the 2 out of 3, and the Commanders are in a similar spot. They're playing 2 tough games and one kind of a layup game, I would say, that they also have to win. With that said, let's go around the NFL real quick here and take a look at some of these games that were played this weekend. Let's start with Thursday Night Football that happened. The 49ers just keep on winning with their backup quarterback. They beat the Seahawks 21-13. The Vikings win in overtime 39-36. The Browns will take the Ravens 13-3. The Bills will take the Dolphins 32-29. The Eagles get a big win over the Bears 25-20. The Lions keep on winning as well. 2017 against the Jets, led by Zach Wilson this week. The Steelers will beat the Panthers 24-16. The Chiefs, they let the Texans put a couple points up on them, 30-24 in overtime. The Saints will beat the Falcons 21-18. The Jags beat the Cowboys in OT 40-34. Big win for them. The Broncos get a win against the backup QB 24-15. The Raiders, in stunning fashion, beat the Patriots 30-24. The Chargers take the Titans 17-14. The Bengals 34-23 over the Bucks. The Giants win in prime time 20-12 over the Commanders. and the Rams and Packers play on Monday Night Football. I predict the Packers. All right, with that said, now let's head over and take a look at the play of the week. Here it is.
Out on defense, he's all the way back. Stevenson
is anyone going to
is inside the 30, flips it back. Stanford band nowhere in sight. It's picked off. Oh no! Unbelievable! Oh wow! Incredible! Chandler Jones takes it in and wins the game for the Raiders. Have you ever seen an ending like that?
I have never seen anything like that.
Obviously, that was an insane play. I don't even think they meant to do the play, but it was an incredible moment that will be tough to forget. It's going to be a stain. It's going to be a stain for Patriots fans. Until then, I'll probably see you later in the week with another video. Until then, peace out.